Welcome, everybody, to the Chamber of Commerce Human Trafficking Awareness Summit. My name is Jim Giannacchio, your Master of Ceremonies. The WCC would like to thank Gigi's House for opening the doors for all of us participating in this great WCC event. So let's give Gigi's House a big hand. Thank you so much. The WCC continues to promote business, cultural, and humanitarian initiatives for business development. In this event, the WCC will recognize leaders for their extraordinary effort to make this a better society and a better world. The WCC event will be broadcasted on the World CC television channel, broadcasting on Amazon Fire TV and Roku Network with an access to over 100 million viewers globally. Please find information regarding World CCTV, and you can find that at worldcc.tv. All right, now it's my honor to introduce our first speaker, Solange Warner. Solange is the World Chamber of Commerce's founder, first president, and co-chairman. She founded the organization in February of 2008, and 15 years later, the WCC has become an important voice in the community. One of the main WCC goals is to act as a liaison between organizations developing global business, creating synergy, and assisting companies to reach out to lucrative international markets. Moreover, Solange developed the WCC humanitarian campaign, and it's named Human Trafficking Awareness to keep our children safe and to promote awareness of such a devastating crime in our society. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome Solange Warner.
Thank you, everyone. I would like to thank each one of you for being here today, supporting the World Chamber of Commerce and Gigi's House. The purpose of the Chamber is to promote international trade and foster cultural and humanitarian exchange worldwide. Today, the WCC creates awareness about human trafficking. There are 300,000 children every year, as an average, that they're taken and sold as slaves. Please, let me say this again. 300,000 children that they are sold as slaves every year. We must take action. We all need to work together to support organizations such as Gigi's House, to support heroes like Officer Joanne Sutherland, retrieving children from the predators almost every night, supporting organizations such as the Consulate of Mexico, helping victims of forced labor, another form of human trafficking. We all must work together as a community to help eradicate human trafficking and save the children. Thank you very much.
All right, at this time, thank you, Solange. At this time, the WCC would like to recognize a humanitarian hero who inspires the community, Sabrina Crawford, founder of Gigi's House. Sabrina founded Gigi's House in 2018 as a place of hope to create a safe environment for girls 13 to 19 years of age who have been victims of sex trafficking and commercial sexual exploitation. Gigi's House provides a safe home and a faith-based, loving environment. In addition to safe housing, Gigi's House provides individual and group trauma-informed therapy with a licensed therapist, homeschool, mentoring, life skills, daily self-confidence building activities, and much, much more. Their team is passionate about helping these girls develop practical and emotional life skills so that they can survive as healthy adults and build their futures as they deserve to. Sabrina is a visionary who has been able to turn a dream into reality and help children victims of human trafficking on a daily basis. Please help me welcome Sabrina Crawford.
Sabrina, good This is the Global Hero Award for Sabrina and Gigi's House in a donation from the World Chamber of Commerce to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Oh my goodness, thank you. I asked some of my board and staff and our partners with Relevant Church, Julie and Pastor Carl Nichols up here, because I can tell you this is not an easy task and we can't do it alone. It takes a lot of people to serve our girls. So our board and staff are here today. On behalf of Gigi's House, thank you to the World Chamber of Commerce. We appreciate so much you being here and recognizing what we do. And just if I could just share just a few minutes of who we are and who we serve. So Gigi's House has been open since May of 18, and we've had 185 girls, with our youngest being 12 years old. These girls come to us being raped 12, 13, 14, 15 times a night. And we are here, our staff is here to offer them hope and a chance to have a new life and to feel self-love and worth, which is not what they come with when they get to Gigi's House. And so not easy, but with our staff and our team, they just continue to love on these girls and provide them with all the resources they need for a better life. And our ministry has just been blessed with so many community partners. We can't do it without you. And my one hope today is when you leave here and you hear about this issue and you know that it's happening in your city and your county and your state and this country, not just a third world country, that you'll open your heart and you'll do something, whether it's prayer, which we need a lot of, financial resources, and just the love that it takes for us to serve these girls. So at this time, I would just like real quick to introduce our partner. Julie is our board chair, and Pastor Carl Nichols is the pastor for Relevant Church, and they are our partner in Gigi's House. Pastor Carl.
Thank you, Sabrina. First of all, thank you all for coming and just being a part of this event. When Sabrina approached us about a year and a half ago and asked us to be a partner in leading Gigi's House in that regard, I couldn't think of a better opportunity to make a difference. At Relevant Church, we stand for life and we stand for equality of rights for all people. And knowing these young ladies, and we've met many of them, have gone through such trauma, all the chaos, all the hurt, we can't think of a better organization to partner with. And Sabrina has always been an incredible voice for those who are hurting in modern day slavery and who've been taken advantage of. So thank you for coming. Hopefully we can continue this partnership with many of you who are here today and even watching this at a later time. God bless you, and we look forward to making a difference together.
I love it. Even the dog lets you know thank you very much. That's awesome. Thank you, Sabrina, and your team, an incredible team. Okay, we're going to move on. We have the next person that I'd like to introduce, and she is an incredible lady. I call her a superhero. Officer Joanne Sutherland has been instrumental in raising awareness, conducting criminal investigations since 2005. Collaborating with local, state, and federal organizations. Sutherland's passion for community service and protecting children began during her time working with the Federal Bureau of Investigation, assigned to the Safe Child Task Force. It doesn't stop there. We're not even through the first quarter here. Wait when you hear what this lady has done. Her dedication later to her career as a criminal investigator as assigned to the Crimes Against Children Unit, and ultimately as the assistant commander of the Special Victims Unit. Throughout her 27-year career as a law enforcement professional, Sutherland has served on the Clayton County Child Abuse and Exploitation Multidisciplinary Team, Georgia Bureau of Investigation's Internet Crimes Against Children Task Force, and FBI Safe Child Task Force. Additionally, Sutherland serves the community as the Clayton County Fire and Emergency Services Communications Officer while raising awareness and training law enforcement personnel. She's expanded her training efforts to include firefighters, EMTs, paramedics, and nurse practitioners. Her devotion to increasing awareness for first responders and community citizens has taken the lead in educating the public safety community on the shocking prevalence of human trafficking. Here's my favorite part. Her awards that she's received include 2017 Clayton County Police Medal of Merit, 2018 Columbia Southern University Law Enforcement Officer, 2019 recipient of the Hero Behind the Badge Scholarship, 2020 Clayton County Chamber of Commerce Valor Public Safety Merit Award, and the 2020 Tim Peebles Champion of Children receiving the Region 3 EMSC Excellence and Advocacy Award. Additionally, as I wrap it up, she has presented at several conferences, such as the Georgia Sheriff's Association and events across the country, including a presentation at the United Nations to increase awareness of the issue of human trafficking. And that covers 140, no, I'm only kidding. Please help me welcome Officer Joanne Sutherland. Joanne.
Joanne, we're presenting to you the Global Hero Award. Thank you for everything.
So thank you for recognizing our work. As public safety professionals, we all get started in this job because we want to protect and serve. Servant leadership is in our blood, and it's in everything that we do. Fortunately, in 2005, I did discover child pornography and human trafficking did exist. And from that time, I have done everything from every position I've ever held to raise awareness, to increase identification and rescue of children. I couldn't imagine a better partner than Sabrina with Gigi's House and Relevant for the World Chamber, but this could not be possible. These children cannot be identified or rescued without your first responders. So the training that goes into fire, police, deputy sheriffs, EMTs, and paramedics is so crucial. Those people are on the ground every day answering those calls. And if they miss that opportunity to identify a victim, that means we've missed a chance to rescue a victim. So it's really important that Clayton County and everybody else follow Clayton County's positive momentum. We've done this, I know I have done it since 2005. And it is the police and fire. It is our police chief, our fire chief, our board of commissioners, the support of our community that we're able to do this. But when you work with local municipalities, you're a county, you also have to partner with the state and federal organizations as well. So it is just so branched out that this is important, but we have to remember that everybody can do more and no one can do everything, but everyone can do something. And what I challenge our people to do every day in every meeting, every initiative is what are you going to do with this information to help identify or rescue children? So thank you again, and it is an honor to be here and recognized. Thank you.
Joanne, let me ask you a quick question. I'm just wondering in regards to, I always hear about child trafficking, what's going on in the world, but really it's happening here in our backyard. Can you kind of explain what's happening and some of the things that you have to watch for, including us here in our own communities?
So what people don't understand is you're missing children. That is your highest percentage of your human trafficking victims. And if you think of every police department, every sheriff's office, every city, everybody has missing kids. Why are those kids running away from home? That's one area. But what happens to them when they do leave? We're not talking stranger danger. Yes, abductions happen. And yes, they can be kidnapped like you see on TV on Taken. The problem is that we're talking about the little girl that's in 7th grade at Lovejoy Middle School. We're talking about a girl who's a sophomore in high school, and all of a sudden she gets manipulated and exploited into human trafficking, and now she's living on North Main Street or Old Dixie Highway. Those are the kids that we're not seeing. So our vision has always been to share this information with as many people, as many groups, whether they be faith-based or law enforcement, police, fire, like Ms. Warner said, the Georgia Sheriff's Association, like you can reach 156, is it 56 or 59 counties in the state of Georgia in one meeting. That means all of those department heads, all of those sheriffs now understand it. When you're talking about fire chiefs, imagine going to a fire chief conference and you have fire chiefs from all over the state of Georgia. If they believe it and they see it and they hear it, their people will believe it and it'll be important. Until it's important enough, we have victims every day. There was a survey done in Atlanta that said a victim of human trafficking has been seen and treated by EMS personnel, fire or EMS, on an average of 15 times before they were ever identified. What happens if we did it at one? think how many children we could find. So the more eyes, everybody in this room, you have 2 eyes. Everybody that you talk to today will have 2 eyes and ears. Use those eyes and ears and share this information at your church. Get with Gigi's House to see how you can help. But no act is too small. And that's the biggest thing about collaboration is at our level, it is everybody, every group, everywhere that human trafficking is a danger to our community, and it's not somewhere else. It is in our own backyard.
Wow. And of course, we have a lot of moms and dads in the room. So my last question for you is, what do you tell the moms and dads to be able to educate themselves so they can say the right things to their kids so they know what to look for?
So getting into your schools to do a lot of training is important, but you need to be an advocate for your children. And when they're not speaking, you need to be listening. When they're not doing things that they normally do, you need to be listening. And when you listen without judgment, when their friends are around, when you can see and hear things that just don't feel right. Remember, we were all given a 6th sense for a reason. You've got to go with it. And if you don't know who to call, find somebody who does. Gigi's House and Relevant will be a good partner for anyone who has questions in the communities. If they don't know, they'll find people who do know. So I think the biggest thing for me is it can be anybody. It can be your granddaughter. It could be your nephew. It could be absolutely anybody. So we all have to pay attention all the time, and no act is too small. I cannot stress that enough. Everybody can do something to raise awareness or stop human trafficking.
Great. Joanne, thank you so much. Let's give Joanne another big hand. Thank you so much, Joanne. Incredible. Wow. Wow. I want to introduce our guests of honor. Okay.
Sorry.
No problem.
Before you do that,
Yes.
I would like to recognize our MC, Jim Ginocchio, today.
Thank you.
Please give
Thank
him a
you.
round of applause.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Thank you, darling. Thank you, Izzy.
He's a former NBC Atlanta producer. Please tell us what you've been working on and what projects you're working on.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm working on some human trafficking projects. We're looking to put on WCC TV. I'm working with the veterans. Stan Cottrell is a ultra distance runner. He's getting ready to do a run in March. And so I'm helping him with that so we can support the veterans. And from what we understand, there's 22 veterans a day that are committing suicide. So we're looking to help stop that. I'm also working on some children programs to recognize kids for a job well done, both in the students and also athletes, and get those positive stories out there because our kids need positive stories right now. With everything that's going on in the world. I used to host a show, as I wrap up, on public broadcasting, and it was called Prep Sports Plus. And what we did was we recognized athletes and student athletes for a job well done, not only in the classroom, but on the playing field. And here was the interesting thing. The kids didn't really like it because the coaches liked it and the parents liked it because we had to make sure, and we made sure they had at least a B average before we put them on television. So they were fighting to get their grades up so they can get on television. And so the coaches and the teachers and the parents loved it. And so that's what we did. And that's something we're looking forward to doing and joining with some corporations to be able to show these kids today that there really is a great future if you put your mind to it. So that's really things I'm working on now.
Thank you. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
And now you can go ahead with the...
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. So let me introduce some of our guests of honor. The WCC would like to acknowledge some of them. Senator Donzella James. She's the WCC chairman of the Humanitarian Committee. Donzella, thank you so much for being here. Thank you. Thank you. Good. Awesome. Let's also hear, thank you, Easy. Vice Consul of the United Kingdom, Claire Newman, is also here. Thank you. Judge Neera Ball, Director and Appellate Division. Judge, good to have you. Proconsul of the United Kingdom, Kevin Jewell. Kevin? Also, we have one of my favorites from a long time ago, former Harlem Globetrotter, Bobby Zorro Hunter is in the room. Yeah. I was whistling Sweet Georgia Brown before. I don't know if you heard that or not. And the Consul General of Guatemala, Erwin Archila. Erwin, are you here as well? Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay, so we move on to our special guest speaker, Dean of Consular Corps of Georgia and Consul General of Mexico, Javier Diaz de Leon. C.G. Diaz currently holds the rank of minister. During his professional career, he has served as Consul General in New York, the head of the Office for Migration and Hispanic Affairs at the Mexican Embassy in the United States, and executive director of the Institute for Mexicans Abroad at a Mexican Ministry for Foreign Affairs. He has served as Consul General of Mexico in Raleigh, North Carolina, among many other accomplishments. In May 2016, he was appointed president by Enrique Peña Nieto as Consul General of Mexico in Atlanta, Georgia. Did I say that right?
I'm supporting an ambassador, no president.
Oh, the ambassador. Okay, great. There you go. Perfect. And in Atlanta, Georgia. And he's been serving in this position for the last 7 years. Please help me welcome the Dean of the Consulate Corps of Georgia, Mr. Javier Diaz de Leon.
And we're presenting the WCC Global Hero Award to Minister Diaz de Leon.
First of all, I want to acknowledge and thank so very deeply the World Chamber of Commerce, Solange, and all the wonderful people who are here today with you. Commend you, and I recognize for the tremendous work you have done for so many years in uplifting the connection. First of all, of course, the international connection and the global connection between Georgia, between the United States, and all of the countries who are represented in here in this great state, the great state of Georgia, and constantly doing events and constantly bringing issues to the forefront regarding of how we can work together to make lives better here in Georgia, here in the United States, and of course, make lives better back in our countries. So the World Chamber and Solange Warner have been a steadfast light in the sky for us for many years. And I have been, as was very well said before me, have had the pleasure and the luck of working here as a foreign diplomat here in Atlanta for a little over 7 years. That is why I am lucky to be at this point the Dean of the Consular Corps, which is, for those of you who are not familiar with this, basically the deanship of the Consular Corps belongs to the diplomat who has served the longest here in this great state, in this great city. So I am very lucky for many reasons. I am very lucky to be a diplomat, to represent my country. I'm very proud of that, and of course I am very lucky to have had the chance of working for over 7 years in this great city and working with wonderful people like Solange at the World Chamber of Commerce and a lot of the people here in this room to make life better for the people here, to make life better for in my case, for people from Mexican origin, and of course also to work constantly on behalf of the people from Mexican origin who work here and who also are making their families' lives better, and also through their work, through their contributions, they make Georgia better, they make the United States better, and we are very proud of them, and we are very proud of what they do. I should also say that, of course, anything that happens at the Mexican consulate and anything that we do there is not done by yours truly, by himself. I am also very lucky to be the part of a team. The Mexican consulate is the largest consulate in Georgia, in Atlanta. We have over 70 people staff in the consulate. It's a large building, a 3-story building, that we might have seen at some point driving by I-75 around Lenox Road and all that area of Georgia. And those people work every day to support the relationship between Mexico and the United States, to support the Mexican people, to support an economic relationship is something that we also want to talk about a lot, and sometimes it's not mentioned so much. Mexico is the #1 trade partner of the United States in the world. And Mexico is also, by the way, the 2nd trade partner in the world of Georgia. There's only one country in the world that buys more Georgia goods than Mexico, and that is Canada. And you probably know where I'm going. So that means basically that we are partners in North America. And we are part of a very strong partnership that we don't talk about a lot, but it's very real. And we are pretty sure that we are part of the most dynamic and the most competitive manufacturing area in the world. Because yes, we love Mexico buys a lot of peaches and peanuts and a lot of the wonderful agricultural products that come from Georgia. And yes, of course, a lot of tequila and avocados are loved by American consumers and consumers here in Georgia. Yes, of course. But that is not really what's going on in terms of the over $12 billion that are traded every year between Georgia and Mexico. That is really manufacturing. That is really parts and machinery, and we are part of a manufacturing powerhouse that we have built in North America that makes us the most competitive manufacturing region in the world. So manufacturing factories in Georgia, in areas like car manufacturing, automotive, aerospace, and many other areas are directly linked to other manufacturing facilities in Mexico. We don't compete with each other. We work with each other together. And that is something that we care a lot. And we care a lot, of course, about the people. And we're here also to talk about people. And by the way, there's over 500,000 people of Mexican origin who live in the great state of Georgia. And they are our mission. They are our concern. And they are one of the main reasons of why we're here. And again, I want to acknowledge and help, and thank the World Chamber of Commerce for that honor that was bestowed on me. I take it not on my behalf, I take it on behalf of the wonderful people who have the tremendous and unfortunate situation of working with me, and they do a tremendous job. And I am lucky to be in that building with them. So thank you again. Sorry for the long speech, and thank you.
I just want to ask you a question, and I think everybody's in on this one. What's your favorite Mexican restaurant?
Oh, that's a common. that is a pretty common question, I guess, and it changes all the time. But but I can tell you, I probably won't mention any specific one.
I think that's a good idea.
I probably is not it. But I can tell you what is that in the past 7 years, I've seen evolution happen, and there are wonderful real Mexican restaurants popping up all over the place in Atlanta.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. De Leon. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Awesome. Even Izzy likes you.
Senator James.
Okay, wait. Oh, okay. Senator is here? Okay, let's see. My apologies. Let me just. Oh, the Senator Donzella? Okay, good. Senator Donzella James, I understand, is here, WCC Chairman of the Humanitarian Committee. Oh, there you are. Come on up, yeah.
Thank you so much, Senator James, for being here. I know you have been the WCC Humanitarian Chairman for our Humanitarian Committee, and you have worked so hard to create awareness about human trafficking. So we welcome you, and we would love to hear from you about this.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, first of all, let me say good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. I'm State Senator Donzella James, and for many, many years, I have had a real issue with human trafficking before they would even call it human trafficking. And they thought that the people who were being trafficked were criminals rather than victims. So we had to change that in the Senate. And I put a bill in to make it a felony to pimp or pander young people. Really, I tried to do from 21 and under, but the Senate going through the process, they changed it to 18. But still, it stopped the revolving door that we had going on with pimps and panderers. And many of them would go in and then they'd be out an hour later. And then they would keep the young people in there forever. This was not right. In fact, we didn't want the young people to be in there at all. Dory, what happened to Dory? My chief of staff walked out the door. Okay. So you gotta pull this up. But either way, I'll just talk instead of pulling something up, I guess. But I did prepare something for you because, I'm long-winded when it comes to talking about this issue. But I want you to know that we did put the bill in for pimping and pandering. And it did pass after 2 years. So it made it a felony. And since then, we've been building on all of these issues. And that's why, one second. So again, thank you again for allowing me to share these few words with you. I'm truly honored to be here today. And I am proud of the people in the Georgia Assembly because they continue to try to make tough laws so that we can one day see an end to this nightmare. Throughout my nearly 2 decades of service, I've witnessed our state's extraordinary efforts in the fight against human trafficking. However, Georgia's legal approach to human trafficking was, for a long time, not straightforward. Our laws were very narrow. In fact, we had none until we put that pimping and pandering bill on there. But we needed to really give a definition of what human trafficking is, what sex trafficking is. And we needed to put that in the law. Because they were focusing on kidnapping and coercion without fully addressing the complex reality of human trafficking. But thankfully, in 2007, we reached a turning point with the passage of Senate Bill 425. For the first time, this landmark legislation provided a comprehensive legal definition of human trafficking in Georgia. It distinguished trafficking as a straight, alone, and standalone offense. Other states also saw this bill and added it to their states' laws. So addressing both the labor and the sexual exploitation and setting the stage for more nuisance laws. And in 2011, we built on this progress with House Bill 200, which expanded definitions, it toughened penalties for traffickers, and it increased protections for victims going through a recourse of seeking civil damages. Our efforts took a long time to pass, but it passed. And it furthered the momentum in 2013 with House Bill 141, which required key establishments to post information about human trafficking. I'm very proud of that bill because I introduced it first in the Senate, and it took a while, but while we were doing it, we worked with many groups, and we started putting up posters in bathrooms of bus stations and airports and all public places. And it said that if you know someone who's been trafficked, or if you feel that you're being held against your will, please call this number. It will be confidential. And so we established that 1-800 number for people, and we saved many young people. We kept getting so many calls. So the state of Georgia was very proud of that, and we ended up passing a Safe Harbor Act in 2015. It continued our legislative march, enhancing penalties for sex trafficking and ensuring law enforcement receive the training necessary to tackle this horrible issue head on. Then came the momentous act of collective, which was in 2016, and the Georgia citizens voted to amend our state constitution through Senate Resolution number 7. It passed all 159 counties. So we established a fund to aid the child victims of sex trafficking, supported by the fines that were levied on these oppressors. And in 2019, House Bill 234, which was an Anti-Human Trafficking Protective Response Act, was passed in Georgia. And again, that took a while, but after 1 year of introducing it and working with legislators to educate them and to really take them on tours. I think Gigi's house may have been on some of those tours that we went on to show the legislators what was really going on all around them. So it did finally pass, and it improved services and protections, and it recognized the true status of exploited victims, and knowing that they are no longer called criminals. Recent strides in 2021 with Senate Bill 33 and 34 have strengthened the right of victims to pursue justice against those who have benefited from their suffering. These bills reverse convictions for those victims who were compelled to commit crimes as a direct result of being trafficked. The legislative journey continues, but it embodied Georgia's strengthening stance against human trafficking. So each law has contributed to a larger framework of harsher penalties for traffickers, enhanced protections for victims, and understanding of the complexities involved in helping those in need. I'm very proud to be one of the legislators who continue to work. I'm very proud of our First Lady, Mrs. Kemp, who has done so much to help us as well. She's continuing to keep this on her heart and mind and not give up and not stop until we no longer have our children trafficked for sex or for labor. It is your dedication, though, that drives the momentum and moves us forward. Your advocacy that pushes this legislation and your compassion that heals communities. From the bottom of my heart, I thank you for your invaluable contribution to this fight. When I'm most challenged, I often find strength in, I'm a Christian, so in the Bible is Psalm 82, 3 through 4, which just defend the weak and the fatherless, uphold the cause of the poor and the oppressed, rescue the weak and the needy, deliver them from the hands of the wicked. And I say that over and over, and know that the plight that I'm taking is something that I can be proud and give me energy to continue even more. So I thank you again for inviting me, for welcoming me into the conversation today. I'm still here to look, listen, and learn because you're doing so many great things. I think everyone around this room has not only a passion for making things better, but you're gonna do it. We're gonna succeed. So again, you can call on me anytime. It's Donzella James. I am the senator from 35th District, and I am over urban affairs, which represents all 159 counties. So let's not give up. Let's work together. It's better together, and we will stop this malady one day. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Senator James. Let's give Senator James another big hand. We really appreciate everything you guys are doing. Thank you, Senator. Thank you so much. Well, as we wrap up, we just want to thank you for being here. The WCC would like to thank our sponsors, Gigi's House, Crane Film and Video Productions, and Gary J. Perdice, representing the Platinum Business Group. We appreciate those guys as well. Solange, we've already done the donation, which is great. Any final words before we wrap up?
Well, I would like to invite each one of you to come forward. We're going to take one picture of everybody attending here today. If you would, please go ahead and come over. Thank you so much for being here today. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.